He's Dan Majerle, who's joining us, the Continental Tire Coach's Corner. He, of course, is the head coach at Grand Canyon University. They're 20-10, and they start the WAC tournament coming up. The former NBA, three-time NBA All-Star, by the way, and Thunder Dan joining us. How are you, Coach?
I'm good. How are you? I still I still lost to you and Horace, which is the worst thing that's ever happened to me, and I can never live it down.
I wasn't even going to bring that up. I just said
I know you were, so that's why I brought to the punch so we could get it over with.
Okay,
so you wouldn't close with that.
It wasn't a game of horse.
I know.
It was
shot.
It was 15 3-pointers.
Yeah.
Okay. But you're over it. You're over it. That was 19.
I know.
That was 93.
If I had to lose to an athlete, it might as well been you.
But I'm not an athlete. That's what hurt even more.
Well, you are in my book, Dan. You are in my book.
But I will say this: the next night, Majerle hits 8 threes. So that was what was impressive.
I had to redeem myself. That's right. You spurred me on.
Okay. Now, a couple of reasons why I wanted to have you on. Explain to people the home court advantage that Grand Canyon has. Because we've read about it maybe, but if you haven't been there to see it, it's one of the great home court advantages it feels like in the country. Explain the atmosphere.
Really? Yeah, I don't know if I can. It's one of those things that's just built. When I got here 4 years ago, there was 4,000 students on campus, and now there's 19,000, and we're going to cap it at 30,000. So you can imagine, 3,000, 3,500 new freshmen every year, and our fan base has really grown. It's called the Havocs, and we fill one half size of the arena across from our bench with students, and it's like a party. It's a rave. They get in there an hour before the game, and it's just nonstop. And when I tell recruits, I say we have one of the best, college atmospheres in all the country. They just kind of roll their eyes and say, yeah, we've heard this before. And we actually had a guy sign. We had a guy come here, and it was an exhibition game. And I said, wait till you see your crowd. He said, this is an exhibition game. And I said, no, just wait. And we won by 40, and the place never sat down. And he signed that night. He said, this is unbelievable. So, we talk about, you see the videos, but when you're here, it's absolutely electric, and it goes on all game.
And when did you guys go to Division I? Is this the first year Division I, or was it last year?
Well, we've been in Division I for, the transition period. This is the first year that we're eligible for the tournament.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. So this is our first year, so we're, really excited. We had won 81 games in that 4-year transition period, which is by far the best record ever for a transitioning period team. This is the third year in a row we've won over 20 games. So we're excited. Come Thursday in Vegas, we'll be in our first WAC tournament.
And then if you win that, you qualify for the tournament.
Automatic bid, yep, automatic bid. So, as I said, everybody's really excited about it. We can't wait to get it going. All
right. After, what was it, on senior night, you had one of your players get engaged. He proposed to his girlfriend. So this,
yes,
Keontae Vernon?
Yeah, Keontae. He's a senior. He's been with me for 3 years, a great kid. He came into my office a couple days before, all nervous. I didn't know what his problem was, and he said, "I have to get your blessing." And I said, "What?" He said, "I'm going to propose to my girlfriend on senior night." And I said, "Well," I said, "Okay." Fortunately, I've known this girl for a long time because she works at my restaurant. Actually, she's worked there for quite a number of years, so I've known her for a long time. She's a great girl, and gave Keontae my blessing, and he did it right there in senior night. It was a big hit.
But you could tell that there was something on his mind when he comes here. You have no idea what's on his mind. You think it's basketball related or school related?
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on with him. He was a little nervous, and I was like, "What's the problem, Keontae?" And I had no idea. And he was like, "Well, this is the most nervous I've been." And then I said, "Go ahead, just bring it out." And he said, "I'm going to propose to my girlfriend." And I said, kind of took a deep breath. "Are you sure?" And he said, "Yeah, I've been thinking about it for a while, and I know she is a great girl." So I gave my blessing, and it was a great moment for both of them.
Did anybody else know?
Yeah, the whole team knew.
Oh, okay.
He knew that, and I think everybody knew but his girlfriend. AJ, my manager, knew, and the whole, I don't think the crowd knew, but all the teammates knew, and his family knew, so it was pretty cool.
Was there a backup plan?
I saw him trying to put the ring on her finger, and he was shaking. I mean, he was. It was like he was trying to catch a pass. He doesn't have the greatest hands in the world, so I was glad he didn't drop the ring.
That's what I was going to say. He's probably not very good in pressure situations there.
No, he's like a 40% free throw shooter and fumbles the ball a lot. So he executed the plan perfectly. So I was proud of him.
Did you ever get a sniff to be the Suns head coach?
No. That's why I ended up here. I was an assistant with Alvin Gentry, and All-Star break decided to go a different way, and they passed over 3 assistants, me being one of them, gave it to Lindsey Hunter. I wasn't happy with it, obviously. That was a place that I'm in the Ring of Honor. I've played there, all that stuff, and thought I was qualified to get the next step. But then Mr. Colangelo called me and said, "Hey, there's a job right down the street from where you live. It's Grand Canyon. They got a bright future. They're going to go Division I, and they want you as a coach. Can you sit down with the president?" And I did, and it's the best move I've ever made.
That's pretty cool. Did you ever, when we looked at your name, how you spell your name, we weren't, we were going, how do you spell Marley's name? And then all of a sudden it's like Majerle. How long did it take for people in the NBA to know how to pronounce your name?
It took a while. I tell everybody, I got invited to the Olympics in '88, and I was one of the last people invited to the Olympics. I think there was 103 college athletes.
Oh, boy.
And I was one of the last ones. And I swear to you, for the first week, George Raveling, who was John Thompson's assistant, would do roll call and put us in groups. And the first week, he called me Majerle. So I was like, there's no way I'm going to make this team. The guy didn't even know my damn name. So finally, I practiced pretty well. And when he started calling Marley, I said, okay, maybe I have a shot at making this team.
Here's our poll question. Would you rather have 6 NBA championship rings or 5 rings and an Oscar?
Oh, 6 championship rings.
So you take Jordan's 6 over Kobe's 5 and an Oscar that he won last night?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I've never watched the Oscars. It's not a big deal for me.
All right. Well, then you're probably the wrong guy to ask this question. But, both are pretty good. Well, you played against both, right?
Who's winning?
McLevin, who's winning? Is Kobe's 5 and an Oscar?
Yeah, 65% voted for Kobe.
Yeah, well, I'm an idiot.
Did you play against Kobe?
I did.
How much?
Yep. He was obviously younger, and I guarded him a few, and I can't remember how much I did play against him, but I do remember playing against him when he was, I think it was his rookie year. What year did he come in the league?
Let's see. When they made the trade with Vlade Divac, 96, Paulie?
96, 97.
Oh, so you were in your prime.
Yeah. Well, no, I was out of my prime a long time ago. I was still fooling him, but I retired in 2002. So yeah, I played against him for quite a bit. But back then, I was back with Miami in the East. So I wouldn't have played with him as much if I was still with the Suns.
Oh, okay.
So I was still playing against Jordan and those guys.
But is it cool to tell your your players want to know about you when you played against Jordan?
Oh, yeah, they ask all the time, and, when I'm recruiting, players don't ask the parents, they ask, and then they got to explain to their kids who I played against. But I got pictures in my office with the recruits, and the pictures I have is I'm guarding Magic, and I'm guarding Larry, and I'm in an all-star game with Isaiah and Jordan and Patrick Ewing, those guys in the background. So some of my photos are pretty cool. So they look at that, and they obviously know who those guys are. So I just talk about it and tell them how I went to a mid-major, and back in '88, obviously it doesn't have the same internet and all that kind of stuff, and they still knew who I was, and I got drafted in the 14th pick in the first round. So there's mid-major's the way to go.
Majerle, Dan Majerle, Grand Canyon University. Hey, good luck in the WAC tournament, and it's been a great success story. It's always great to talk to you. Thank you.
I appreciate it, Dan. Thanks.
Thank you, Thunder. That's Thunder Dan Marley, Grand Canyon University.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.